Good morning, good morning, good morning. There is one secret or one trick that is missing so often when it comes to having a wealth building mindset that allows us to build wealth. You want to know what that is? Stick with me and I will share it with you in a moment. My name is Judy V and I work with entrepreneurially minded people to become financially empowered or empowered in all areas of life so that they can have the freedom that they deserve. I'm deeply passionate about working with people to become empowered, because if you're not empowered, you will be overpowered. In any area of life you're not empowered, you will be overpowered. I firmly believe that if you're not financially empowered, you cannot be empowered in life. And a lot of people don't like that, and a lot of people don't accept that. But how can it be? How can you be empowered in life if you're not financially empowered? Because so much of your time, mind, thinking, space around you is occupied around getting financially empowered, or at least meeting your basic needs at the end of each month. That is why I absolutely hate the concept of being enough. Okay, you are way more than enough. Okay, there's a massive move online at the moment. A lot of people saying you're enough, or repeat after me, you're enough, and all that. No. To hell with enough. Who wants to be enough? Okay, now's the time to be abundant, to be incredible, to be outstanding, to be magnificent. Because here's the issue with being enough. Being enough literally gives you absolutely no wiggle room. Okay, if you're enough, one little tick to the downside and you're no longer enough. All right. Whereas if you're magnificent, if you're outstanding, if you're absolutely incredible and the true genius that you really, really, really are, you have a lot of wiggle room. All right, a lot of wiggle room to maneuver through. Okay, you can have down days, you can have rough weeks, you can have a difficult month, but you're still magnificent. All right, but if you're just enough and you have a rough day, a rough week, a rotten month, you're below the enough bit, right? So enough with the enough, right? So you're magnificent, you're outstanding. And here's how you get there. It is the one thing that is missed so often, because we all know about the power of gratitude. We all know about the power of appreciation. We all know that the more we're grateful for, the more we get to be grateful for, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the way it is. That's the way life works. That's the way the universe works. We know that, we understand that. Okay, the more we appreciate what we have, the more we are in a more inspired state. And the more we are inspired, the more we see opportunities. Okay? But there's one thing that most people miss out on when we're looking at appreciation, looking for things to be grateful for, when we're going through in our mind before we go to sleep at night, or when we wake up in the morning to get us into an inspired state. Because at the end of the day, being empowered and being financially empowered and building wealth and having a wealth building mindset, right, is 99% in the head and 1% in the head. Right, all right, it's 100% in the head. It's all mindset. 100% it is mindset. Okay, so therefore, we need to be aware of what we're putting our focus on. We need to be aware of what our thoughts are. We need to be aware of the language we're using in our thoughts. Even becoming aware of the language we're using in our unconscious thoughts. Right? What is subconsciously driving our behavior? What are the beliefs and what are the language around those beliefs? Okay, so we understand that we need to have gratitude, right? Because gratitude makes us see the truth of what we have got around us, the truth of what we have in our life, and so on, okay? But the one thing that's missing for so many people, and considering how important it is that we master our own mindset, have self-mastery, it is critical that we do this. And that is have gratitude for ourselves. We have to focus on gratitude and appreciation for ourselves. Because if we don't appreciate ourselves, we don't appreciate and have gratitude for everything that we are who we are, what we are, how we show up in life, how we give of ourselves to others, how we serve, who we are, how we look, everything about us. If we are not have appreciation and gratitude for ourselves, how can you powerfully have gratitude for things outside of you? Okay? The number one secret to self-mastery is self-appreciation, is self-love, self-awareness, self-mastery. It starts and it ends from within, right? From within we can emanate outwards. And what is outside in our life is a mirror image of what's going on inside. And similarly, what's going on inside of us is a mirror image of what is exactly being reflected out. So what we see around us is exactly the state we are in inside of ourselves. So if our life is surrounded by conflict, by stress, by scarcity, by lack, by fear, anger, any of those low vibrational states or emotions, that's what's going on inside, okay? That's exactly what we are experiencing inside of ourselves, right? And the way to change that is to change or reframe how we are perceiving things from within, okay? Not from without. Because here's the issue here. You've heard of the phrase that, you've heard of the term cause and effect, okay? We've heard that we are the cause of the effect, or what is the cause of the effect? And when we ask that question, the more you start to realize, hold on a second, what is the effect? The effect is possibly that you have drama in your life, right? So what is the cause? And if you peel it back and pare it back to its rawest form, you will understand and you will see that we are always the cause of our own effect. Always. Now, a lot of people find that overpowering, when I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, there is nothing more empowering than to understand and to truly embrace that concept. We are the cause of our own effect. But here's the issue. When we realize that, if we want to realize that, and if you actually realize that, and for many people, that's a long journey in itself, right? But if you realize that you're the cause of your effect, all right, you realize how powerful you actually are, okay? It's not an overpowering statement. You realize how empowered you are, how powerful you are, because you can change the cause to create a different effect. All right? You can. You don't need money. You don't need people. You don't need education. You don't need a lover, a phenomenal relationship, a great job, a great business. You don't need any of that. You just need to change the cause within. And that starts with appreciation. Appreciation, everything that you've created, the magnificent imperfection of things that you've created to get to the point where you are right now in life. Start looking for them, because I promise you, when you start looking, you'll find them. That changes your state. It reframes your perception. You start understanding the concept of cause and effect. And when you do that, you stop addressing the effect. Because the more we focus on the effect, the more we're going to get that effect. Nothing changes when you just focus on the effect. Nothing. And here's another thing. If we don't learn to appreciate ourselves, we can't truly appreciate in its real form, in its real essence, everything outside of us. And then we start to justify the effect. And that is, in my opinion, honestly, the most overpowering thing we can do, right? See the effect, not like the effect, not be happy with the effect that we've created in our life, or that is how we perceive the reality is in our life, right? We're not happy with it. Then we start justifying it. And all we're doing is putting cement on it and solidifying it further. Okay, instead of seeing the effect and understanding what is the cause, peeling it back and understanding that we're the cause. And the number one thing that you can do to start shifting, if that cause is not, if the cause that you're creating is not what you want, right, then start shifting that from within. And the number one way you start shifting it is by building self-awareness, self-mastery, and you do that through starting to appreciate who you are and building self-love and self-gratitude. It is the number one thing that a majority of people miss in the whole concept, the whole construct around gratitude and appreciation. We spend so much time looking outside of us for what do we appreciate in our life, who we appreciate, but we forget to actually take most of that time. We're actually looking for saying all the things that we're grateful for. We should actually be spending most of that time looking within to see what we're grateful for ourselves. Okay, that then starts shifting your mindset. That internal questioning of what have I got to be grateful for myself? What is it about me that I'm grateful for? I've created this, I've done this, I look like this, my eyes are like this, my hair is like that. What is it that my body is this? What is it that you're grateful for yourself? Because we spend so much time pulling ourselves down. Okay, so much time berating ourselves, abusing ourselves. Okay. So if we don't do it for ourselves, no one else is going to do it. Okay, you deserve it. You absolutely 100% deserve to have the freedom that you desire. You will create that by learning to appreciate yourself, learning to love yourself, learning to see the perfection of who you are. And the more you learn to see the perfection of who you are, the more you have great gratitude and appreciation for who you are and everything that you are, the more you will see to be grateful for in yourself. Just like the more you're grateful and appreciate that around you, the more you will see and have to be appreciative of and to be grateful for. So every single night before you go to sleep, spend 5 minutes thinking of nothing else or everything that you can be grateful for yourself. If you berate yourself over your body for you don't like your weight, for example, or if you don't like your hair or whatever it is, what do you love about yourself? Because I promise you, life is balanced, everything is balanced. If there's a part of you that you're berating about yourself, your body, for example, your appearance, whatever it is, get specific. What is it that you don't like? All right, fine. Then find what you do like. Where are you appreciative? Because I promise you there will be a part of your body that you're berating. There will be an equal opposite of a part of your body that you absolutely love, and focus on that and be grateful for that. The more we have to be grateful for inside of ourselves, the more we will have to be grateful for. Okay, we need to find it because it's the easiest thing in the world for us to berate ourselves. Now, I'm going to ask you, when you go to bed at night, for 5 minutes, think about nothing else but all the amazing things that you can be grateful for yourself. Appreciate for yourself. Your body, your mind, the things you've done, things you've not done, whatever it is. Spend 5 minutes and start making that part of your daily habit. Start looking at how perfect you are, how amazing you are, how wonderful you are, the incredible things you've done, the amazing achievements you've had. And start watching your mind shift and your perceptions shift and your reality around you starts to shift. It's the number one thing that I really, really, really believe that majority of people are missing in building self-awareness and self-mastery. And the more self-mastery we have, the more empowered we are. And the more empowered we are, the more we have the freedom to live the life that we would love. And the more empowered you are, the more financial freedom you have as well. Because here's the thing, you understand that it's not becoming financially free or becoming financially empowered. It's not about chasing the money. It's not about chasing the buck. It's about freedom from within and doing what inspires you, and the money comes. Okay, and the first step in that journey is, believe it or not, self-appreciation, self-love, self-acceptance, and seeing the truth of who you are for you. The more you love yourself, the more life will love you, the more the universe will love you. Okay, all right, try that every night, 5 minutes before you go to sleep. Think of nothing else but all the things that you can be appreciative of yourself. Go back over your life. Look in all 7 areas of life. Go back over your whole life and all 7 areas of life and think about all the things you've done and achieved And even think about that day. What have you got to be appreciative of that day? Think about your body. Think about all the things you've got to appreciate yourself for yourself. Okay, everything changes when you start doing that. All right, guys. Hello, hi Maggie, hi Miriam. Thank you. You agree with that, Miriam? I think it's a very important, very valuable habit to get into. So many people spend their life berating themselves, knocking themselves, comparing themselves to others. Comparison is suicide. Was it Einstein who said that? Comparison is suicide. It is, it's deadly. Okay, we do that naturally. We do it on we do it on automatic. We do it naturally all the time. Let's stop that. Let's put the handbrake on that, and let's change that completely and start self-talking appreciation for ourselves. Okay. All right. Have a wonderful day, guys. Have a wicked day. It's a scorcher here in London. Take care. Bye-bye.